Hey, it's Pauline here, and today I want to have a business training talk with you about getting a mortgage should you want to do so and you are an entrepreneur. So this is a great video for all my hen followers, the Homeschool Entrepreneurial Network, and just anyone really in general who is looking to get a mortgage and you own your own business. This is something that I am very familiar with because we are going through this process now, and so I just want to make you aware of some things. Okay, number one, owning your business is amazing. If you don't own a business, you should. Like even a part-time business that you're working consistently, like it's not your full-time income yet, but you're working it consistently, the deductions you can take are just like insanely awesome. It lowers your taxes, if not completely lowers them. Like we were able to not have to pay taxes at all because our business, because of the deductions we have on our house and our kids, and then also the fact that our business was creating so many deductions, like it just is awesome. And there's many legal deductions. You should look into them. It's really quick and easy to Google. There's home office, car, depreciation, just your normal things that you buy for your business. And as your business grows, your deductions will increase, but a lot of the things stayed the same. Like my home office didn't necessarily grow because our business grew. So when you're making like this much money and your deductions are here, your profit is, smaller, but you still get all those awesome deductions versus your business grows this big and your deductions maybe grow a little bigger, but not that much bigger. Eventually at some point you might have to pay taxes, and then you might want to restructure your business into a corporation or things where there's some tax shelter. But what I want to say about that though is there's a little trick though. So there's those awesome deductions that you want to have, like computer paper, printer, gas, mileage, like all these things that you can take off to lower your taxes or eliminate them. But here's a stickler. Around 2008, 2010, when the market crashed for the housing, they got really strict, the mortgage companies did, on home business owners, which I think is totally unfortunate because I know many people that lost their homes during that time. They went into foreclosure, had a short sale, or one of those kinds of things. And remember I talked in one of my last videos that about 10% of people own their own businesses and about only 4% employ other people. So it's not a huge percent of the population that owns their own business. So of all my friends that I knew that had to foreclose or short sale, not very many of my friends owned their own business at that time during that period. We were still new to it ourselves, but I did have one family that I knew that did own their own landscaping business. And during that crisis, they were not one of the people that foreclosed or got short sold on. They actually paid off their home during that time, and then they purchased a new home, which the rent from the paid off home now pays their current mortgage. And the owner of the business, he told me that his the rent that they've paid in these last few years has already, it would have paid off the house again. That's how much he's received in rent. So it's more than paying his new mortgage. So it's just, what a smart man, what a smart family. They're doing fabulous. So they certainly, I just don't understand why they crack down on the businesses, but maybe there would be, I'd like to see statistics on it. If there was really a reason to, I really feel like the business owners are pretty awesome, but regardless, here's what you need to know. Those wonderful deductions are kind of a thorn in your side when it comes to the mortgage industry. The mortgage industry wants to see 2 years of tax returns. So let's say you're on your third year of tax returns, or let's just start from the beginning. Let's say you're on your first year of your business and you got your old W-2s from your job, and then you have your new self-employed tax return income. Well, it's not going to be enough. You're going to have to wait another year. You may have to stay where you are or rent for a year before you can actually do a mortgage. So that stinks, right? Well, when you're filing it for that first year, you're going to want to take almost no deductions. And here's the really stinky thing is we all buy printer paper, we all buy stamps. People who have a job have to commute, but they don't get to write those miles off. People who buy printer paper don't have to they can't write their printer paper off if they have a job, but you can. You can write all of those things off. If you work at a job and you go out to dinner and you want to talk with your friend about your business ideas, but you don't own a business yet, you can't write that meal off. But if you're a business owner, you can. That's officially a business meeting, and you can write 50% of the meal off. If you go to a business conference, like let's say, you tied into, like, you go to the beach while you're at this business conference. It's a vacation really, but it's a business conference and you're learning. You can write off the hotel, you can write off the meals while you're there, and double check everything because tax laws can change, and depending on when this video is published and you watch it, you should definitely do your due diligence. I'm not a tax person, just a normal business owner, but I'm telling you all the things that you could write off as a business owner legally and are super awesome that deduct from your taxes, whereas a normal person cannot, and they be doing the same things that you are. So that's what stinks, is that let's say you make $100,000 and you have all these awesome write-offs and it pretty much eliminates your taxes. Well, the mortgage company is going to look at your at the end, what it says your net is, and they're going to say, oh, well, you only made, $50,000. And so you can only buy a house that's worth $50,000. So for 2 years, you're going to have to be diligent to not only record your income well and your deductions, but really carefully figure out, like, how much house do I want? How much can I afford? And with my tax returns, like, how much do I want to deduct? Because at the bottom is what's going to affect me. Now, there are a few things, and if I were you, I would check with your particular mortgage company or the one that you want to go with. What things will you allow to be added back in to the bottom line? Currently, and I hear different things from different mortgage companies, and they may not all know the same information, what's allowed. It just depends. But I have heard that depreciation, this is with certain types of loans, depreciation and also car mileage, those things can possibly be added back in. So you could still at least get those deductions and know that the underwriter and the mortgage company will add them back in. Again, you're going to want to check with your mortgage company and just ask, a lender what kinds of things can be added back in. But there is that possibility that you could file and do that. So that's year one. You check with your mortgage company. You got your gross, you have your net. Any taxes gets taken out before your net. So taxes count too. They're considered, an expenditure basically. So whatever taxes you owe, boom, the bottom line is your net. And then beyond your net, if you start, are from your gross also, if you have mileage, depreciation, your home office gets written in, your printer paper, you went on a vacation, that was also / a conference, you went to the beach while you're at the conference, all that you write off, just know a lot of it is going to keep pulling your net down. Okay, so year one you file and you're conservative on your deductions because you would like this certain type of a house and that requires you to not take a ton of deductions. Year two, your business grows, hopefully, do all the things that we talk about in the training, and you're smart and you're fearless and brave and you're courageous and you're dreaming big and your business grows. Awesome. Year two, you've got to do the same thing again. You've got to come, January, February, you're starting to do your taxes, really be kind of frugal on your deductions so that you can qualify for the home that you want to qualify for. I highly recommend Dave Ramsey stuff in terms of what mortgages to get, how to get them, how to stay out of debt, and what with a mortgage, like what's the best kind of debt in terms of if you're going to have debt, how to do that. So I've definitely recommended his stuff. But that's just some tips for you. Us self-employed people, we have to do things a little bit differently to abide by these newer, stricter rules that were imposed upon us, which is kind of not fair. So even though your business grew, let's say your net this year was, $200,000 and last year your net was $100,000. Well, they're going to take those two and divide it by 24 months. They're basically averaging the two of them together. So you should just know that going into it, that if your business grows, and even though your business, you netted $200,000 and you should be able to afford a house that a normal person who's making $200,000 could afford, they're going to take it and say you can only afford a house for $150,000 because they're going to average them together. So I don't really think it's fair. I think that's not right. They should look at it year by year, but I guess they feel like businesses are a bigger risk. I would like to see the statistics that prove that the businesses are a bigger risk, because like I said, the people who did foreclose were not business owners. They were normal W-2 type employees. So I just wonder if business owners really deserve that kind of treatment, like we're this huge risk, when really we're the people generating money in this economy. But who knows? So anyway, I hope that helps you and just at least gives you some ideas that you can start researching on your own, get some great deductions. If you're not looking to get a mortgage in the next 2 years, then totally do the deductions and save yourself money in taxes and get those legal deductions so you can use that money and grow your business and do great things for this world. So I hope that blesses you and encourages you. Go out and live life abundantly, and I will talk to you next week.